A reading from the 20th chapter of John's Gospel, beginning with the 19th verse. When it was evening on that day, the first day of the week, and the doors of the house where the disciples had met were locked for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." After he had said this, he showed them his hands and his side. Then the disciples rejoiced when they saw the Lord. Jesus said to them again, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, so I send you." When he had said this, he breathed on them and said to them, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive the sins of any, they are forgiven them. If you retain the sins of any, they are retained." But Thomas, who's called the twin, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands, and put my finger in the mark of the nails and my hand in his side, I will not believe." A week later, his disciples were again in the house, and Thomas was with them. Although the doors were shut, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it in my side. Do not doubt, but believe." Thomas answered him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet come to believe." Now Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book, but these are written so that you may come to believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that through believing you may have life in his name. And this is the word of God, the word of life. Amen. I invite you to join me in prayer. Believing what we do not see. That is a challenge for us, and yet in any number of places and times in the course of a day, we are asked to believe things that we do not see. We ask, O Lord, that we might become like children and hear your word with an innocence and a freshness, an openness, and a believing heart. May your word speak to us this day. May it speak with a clarity that urges us to be more faithful. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Grace and peace to you from God our Father, and from our Lord and from our Savior Jesus the Christ. Amen. There are a verse from the reading we heard from 1 Peter and two verses actually from the Gospel of John that I just read that I'd like us to focus on this morning. From John's Gospel we read, Jesus said to them, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, so I send you." And when he had said this, he breathed on them and said to them, "Receive the Holy Spirit." Very often when we look at this text and when we encounter this story of Thomas and doubting that Jesus was the resurrected Christ, we focus on that. But what I'd like us to pay attention to is just prior to that, where Jesus comes to the disciples and where he gives them this commission, where he says, "As I have been sent, as the Father has sent me, so now I send you. Receive the Holy Spirit." We are the generations that have followed after generations that great commission, that calling to bear witness to Christ. Then we have in 1 Peter these words, "But you are God's own people in order You are God's people in order that you might proclaim the mighty acts of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. We are God's own people, called to bear witness to the good news, this marvelous story of who Jesus Christ is. As we prepare ourselves for another full calendar of fall activities here at Grace Lutheran, as we have geared up ourselves after we've had some refreshing time, hopefully, from our summer activities that have allowed us to slow down a bit, perhaps, and be refreshed, we find ourselves in our fall programming schedule. And so here we are, Rally Sunday. And the staff has worked hard to get everything geared up and everything ready and everything in place so that we can put all our energy and all our excitement into what is planned for the fall here at Grace. But there's a basic question that we do have to ask as we find ourselves in the midst of all this energy and all this planning. Why? Why are we doing it? Why are we having another Rally Sunday? Are we doing it because it's on the calendar? It's what we did last year, the year before that. Of course we're going to have a Rally Sunday. That's why we do it, because we've always done it. Or are we doing it because we know that there are other churches, and we don't like to use the word competition, but we know that if we don't provide the programming that other churches provide, then we're not going to have the people come here. And so we do it almost out of a sense of survival. We wanted to do it as well or perhaps better than other churches so that we can be an attractive place to people. Now, I don't doubt that these can and are motivating factors for us. Why we have another Rally Sunday, why we have another fall kickoff, why we put so much into getting ready for fall. But we need to remind ourselves that which ultimately drives our energy and our time in doing what we are doing, because we are the people of God. And we have been called to this purpose. We have been called to this mission. We have been called to proclaim the good news and live the good news and be the good news. We do it because we are a called people. We are the people of God. That is why we ought to be doing it. Charged with proclaiming the mighty acts of Him who called us out of darkness into His marvelous light. Richard Rohr writes this. He says, "The foundational spiritual question is this: does one's life give any evidence of an encounter with God? Does one's life give any evidence of an encounter with God?" He goes on to say, does the encounter bring about what Paul describes as the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control? He says we should keep asking ourselves, are we different from our surroundings, or do we continue to reflect the predictable cultural values and biases of our group? That's a challenge for us, friends. Do we simply reflect what the mood of the culture is? Do we simply do what we are doing because we would be looked down on if we behaved differently? Do we simply march in step and in tune with what's going on around us? Or are we, in fact, chosen to be different? because we have had that encounter, that experience of God's presence in our lives. Life as usual is not in the picture because we have encountered God. Maybe that wasn't what you were thinking when you made up your mind to come to church this morning. Maybe you came because you wanted to be with friends or see friends. Maybe you came because you had a job to do this morning here at church. You've been given some responsibility to perform. Maybe you're here because your children are in Sunday school. Maybe you're here because a sense of duty, a sense of responsibility, because it's just what you do. And maybe it's possible you are here and don't know why you're really here. But here we are. Here we are, together, singing and praying and listening to the Word of God. And if we think for one moment that God isn't going to use this opportunity to meet you where you are and to meet me where I am, then we have underestimated the power of God's Spirit working in our lives. If we came to encounter God, we can certainly be assured that God will encounter us in this place, in this worship. Wendell Berry, author, farmer, environmentalist, tells a story back in the 1500s. He writes, in 1569 in Holland, a Mennonite named Dirk Willems, under capital sentence as a heretic, was fleeing from arrest pursued by a thief catcher. As they came across a frozen body of water, the thief catcher broke through the ice. Without help, he would have drowned. What did Dirk Willems do? Was the thief catcher an enemy merely to be hated, or was he a neighbor to be loved as one loved oneself? Was he an enemy whom one must love in order to be a child of God? Was he one of the least of these my brethren? What Dirk Willems did was turn back, put out his hands to his pursuer, and save his life. The thief catcher, who then, of course, wanted to let his rescuer go, was forced to arrest him. Dirk Willems was brought on trial. He was sentenced. He was burned to death by a lingering fire. Wendell Berry writes, and I suppose you, would like to be a child of God even at the cost of so much pain. But would we in similar circumstances turn back to offer the charity of Christ to an enemy? I don't think we can know for sure. We humans, as we well know, have repeatedly been surprised by what we will and what we will not do under pressure. As long as we are alive, there is always the next time, and so questions remain. These are questions we must live with, regarding them as unanswerable and yet profoundly influential. What do we do? What do we do when we find ourselves in situations that we never expected to find ourselves in? And we're expected to make some kind of response, have some kind of answer, some kind of action that we find ourselves in. How then do we go about behaving as a child of God, as the people of God? I invite you and I ask you and I urge you this morning to pay attention to how God is at work in your life. We never know what kind of situations we might find ourselves in that might demand more of us than we think we are capable of giving or doing. And maybe it is God who is putting us in those situations that are uncomfortable, that are unfamiliar, in order that we might be the presence of Christ at that very moment, at that very place, at that very time. Maybe we are placed in a situation where we are to be offering that word of healing, where healing is needed. Or maybe we're there to calm the waters of fear. Or maybe we are there to help overcome the tension of prejudice. And we are there to be the love of Christ in that situation. You see, we are never observers, merely observers of life. We are participants in life, and we are invited to live it fully and confidently because we are the people of God. Parker Palmer helps us recount the life of Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was in the 50s, the mid-50s, she was an African-American woman in Montgomery, Alabama, who started really the Montgomery boycott, the bus boycott that led then to precipitated some activity or the beginnings of the civil rights movement and so on. But anyway, Palmer Parker writes this about Rosa Parks. He says, on December 1, 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks did something she was not supposed to do. She sat down at the front of a bus in one of the seats reserved for whites, a dangerous, daring, provocative act in a racist society. Legend has it that years later, a graduate student came to Rosa Parks and asked, "Why did you sit down at the front of the bus that day?" Rosa Parks did not say that she sat down to launch a movement because her motives were more elemental than that. She said, "I sat down because I was tired." Palmer goes on, but she did not mean that her feet were tired. She meant that her soul was tired, her heart was tired, her whole being was tired of playing by racist rules, of denying her soul's claim to selfhood. Rosa Parks sat down because she had reached a point where it was essential to embrace her true vocation, not as someone who would reshape our society, but as someone who would live out her full self in the world. She decided, "I will no longer act as if I were less than the whole person I know myself inwardly to be." Living our full self. We live our full selves because there is something about us that is different. We live our full selves because somehow we have been called to be the people of God. We live our full selves because we know that somehow Christ has made us who we are and accepted us who we are and enjoys who we are and challenges us to be who we are. And so back to the question of Richard Rohr. Does one's life give any evidence of an encounter with God? Does your life give any evidence of an encounter with God? Does my life give any evidence of an encounter with God? Let's wrestle with that question this week. Amen.